John Cena's heel turn is one of the biggest moments in WWE history, like at least in the last as many years, 20 years, 15 years, whatever it is to you. There are big moments, but this thing was absolutely epic. The one thing I noticed with Cena in the Elimination Chamber as he put the STF onto CM Punk is that they zoomed in a little bit and you could hear John as he was squeezing Punk and he's just yelling, "I'm sorry." Like he had to do it. He didn't want to do it this way. And instead of going with the regular lock that he does, where it's very loose and doesn't look very good, he snugged that thing in. He really wrenched back. It was all desperation. Cena felt like he had to do it. To today, I want to talk to you guys about some of the big opponents that John Cena could face this year as a big time heel. I hope John changes his look. He needs new theme music. He needs a whole new presentation to go with this corporate champion business. Now we know that at WrestleMania 41, we are going to get Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. We're waiting for the final confirmation of that graphic of that is going to be a one-on-one match because I almost hesitated because maybe other people could get involved somehow, some way. But as it stands, Cody versus Cena. I'm pegging Cena to win. He wins and he beats Cody Rhodes, slaps him with the belt. Rock comes out, decimates Cody. That's the ending to WrestleMania. It's my earliest prediction. After that, I think Cody needs to go away for a little bit. Go recover. Go lay on the beach for a bit and come back stronger. We need to miss Cody a little bit. So after that, who does Cena face? We're not getting John Cena on weekly TV. We're gonna get him sparingly. A little bit more than Roman Reigns, kind of in the neighborhood of Cody Rhodes, a little bit less. Not doing promos every single week. It's gonna be kind of like he's gonna show up, he's gonna do a program, then he's gonna be gone again. And I think Cena should hold into the belt for quite some time. And this isn't necessarily in order, by the way. One of his main opponents I think he needs to have a feud with is going to be Roman Reigns. I assume Cena's going to stay on SmackDown. He's not necessarily gonna cross over to other shows. But WWE, you never know, he could show up on Raw. But with Roman Reigns, you're doing a callback to their original program. And the good thing about Cena being a heel is all the other options, is all of the other feuds with the baby faces he can now go up against instead of being just the baby face and having to stack up against all these heels. Everything has been flipped. Roman is one of the first people I hope to see go after John Cena. And it's John Cena and The Rock. Now, this doesn't have to be the SummerSlam match, for example. It could be building up for a few months after Mania and going into Saudi Arabia. There's a lot they could do with Roman and Cena, but I think they need to cross paths because now the roles are reversed. Now you have the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and he's a baby face. He can step up and say, I'm going after John to end all of this stuff. And you're intertwining The Rock and Roman and finally kind of dealing with that whole issue and creating the tension there, which could ultimately lead to Roman Rock at 42. But if Rock's not going to wrestle, at least you're doing the storytelling in between all of this, and they're using Cena as the proxy. The thing is, though, is if you do get John Cena versus Roman in Saudi, or you're going to get it at SummerSlam, or whatever the match is going to be, if it happens, then you don't have Roman win. You have Roman Reigns lose. Cena needs to win and be very strong and dominant, and he could be in more desperation mode. John Cena's always been kind of a dominant babyface. I know in his recent run of WWE, he tends to lose a lot. But in his heyday, in his prime, lol, Cena wins. Cena wins all the time. And I think you need almost a twist where it's bad guy Cena, but he's in desperation mode like we saw at the Chamber. The Roman and Cena, I think it happens. Title could be involved, but then Roman can get screwed by The Rock. The next name on the list that this match needs to happen, Randy Orton versus John Cena. Now, Randy is going to go off and have the match with Kevin Owens. That is going to be WrestleMania worthy. And after that, though, you got to figure Kevin Owens is getting that punt to the head, and he's going to be gonzo for a while. So then what do you do with Randy? One of the main stories that I think a lot of us would be excited to see is Randy versus Cody, but maybe that's saved for another year or at next year's WrestleMania. You need Randy to turn heel. So in the meantime, I think you can rekindle Randy versus Cena and have that go for several months. One of the big things I'd like to see them do with John Cena's story is all of these baby faces that he has worked with, that he's been friends with or fought with over his whole career, they come back and they're trying to help John get him back to the good side because now he's crossed over to the dark side. Randy is one of those names. Getting a promo between Randy and Cena in the ring is a holy shit moment because you want those two and you want Randy to cut the promo on John being like, we fought forever and I hated your guts, but I respected you. And now I don't. And I'm taking that title because I want to win that championship against you. And we could finally get Randy versus Cena one more time, but the roles are reversed. Randy and Cena fighting for years. Randy was always the bad guy. We would be in a spot now where Randy would be the face against the heel John Cena. So there's so much more they can do for storytelling. Randy and the history there they can pull from. That to me is a giant match. Once again, that can be SummerSlam, Survivor Series. It could be Money in the Bank if they want to build it for several months. Randy could be a very good option coming off the heels of WrestleMania. Cody loses, you need a face to step up, and Randy and Cena can have multiple months of a feud. Now, the next name I wrote down, I got two names that I'm like, I just like to see it. I don't think it would necessarily cross over. Maybe it's more of like a quick turnaround program, but LA Knight. LA Knight and John Cena have tagged, they have teamed up, they've been good guys, and now you got Nasty Cena, because I want to see the promos. I want to see LA Knight, John Cena heel, and having those promos. Those two in the ring, I think would work really well. It's something I wanted to see even them as baby faces, but now you can have John Cena going out talking trash multiple weeks in a row. LA Knight's music hit. He still gets huge pops. Like, LA Knight is in the mid-card division, but man, he's super over and popular. You can have him come out and cut those promos against Cena. Talk about how he was an inspiration for him. And then John just trying to tear down LA Knight. The thing is, LA Knight just dish it out, and like everything just bounces off LA Knight most of the times in promos. So I like to just see how those promos would work out. It could be a short stint, like Backlash match, Money in the Bank match. It doesn't have to be this long feud with LA Knight. It's just something I really love to see. Another one would be AJ Styles. Now, I know AJ is on Raw and he's getting into the mid-card scene for like the IC title. That's great, but I'm talking post-WrestleMania. It's kind of like Roman. I want to see AJ versus Cena one more time. Not too respectful good guy, bad guys, but AJ being that grizzled veteran coming out. He shows up on SmackDown for no reason whatsoever, or Cena's just on Raw for whatever reason because he wants to. And he challenges with AJ Styles and they go back and forth. And give us that 1 month program, for example, just to be able to have, once again, like Randy, where you want to have AJ try to pull Cena back to the good side, but ultimately can't do it. I just think it'd be a good match. And also, AJ Styles is winding down his career. You're only going to get so many dream matches left. That's one of them that I want them to revisit. The other one on Matt's little list here, and by the way, guys, if you enjoy the content, do me a favor and hit subscribe because it helps us get to our goal, 50K subs by WrestleMania. The other name I got on the list, CM Punk. This is pretty obvious, and I feel like this could be the SummerSlam match. Punk addressed it on Raw. He was all fired up. I loved his promo. He's going after The Rock, the bald fraud, and he's going after Cena, and he says, "I will see you down the road." I think that is probably what's going to happen, is a SummerSlam match of Punk Cena. Doing it one more time at SummerSlam. Maybe they can do it like Money in the Bank 2011, but the roles are reversed now. A lot of things they could do, and that's an epic story to tell. Having The Rock getting involved with Punk, them going back and forth promos, because it's going to dish up a lot of history between those two. The two of them getting that moment in the chamber was huge. I was there live and I loved it. It was a moment to see Punk and Cena at this stage in their career, and Cena made Punk pass out. He didn't tap out, so it's more leverage for Punk to be like, you didn't beat me. I just passed out, like Austin did with Bret Hart. So I think that because of their history, this match is inevitable. Would it be for the title? Maybe, maybe not. Punk could be the guy to take the title off Cena if they want to build it that way. You could do a lot of different people. You could just have Cody come back once again and take it. But Punk could get the title off Cena, and he has to overcome the odds. It could lead to SummerSlam. There's a lot of ways to go with that, but the Punk Cena match to me is one of those, the big match that they need to build to. You got 2 nights SummerSlam as well. It's gonna be a big deal. And I just love to see the fired up CM Punk we saw on Raw, having those promos and segments with a heel Cena who's just letting loose all the time. And then I want to mention Cody Rhodes, because Cody started this whole thing. He's going into Mania 41. He's gonna possibly lose to John Cena and drop the title, and I think it's a good thing for Cody's character and longevity, so that he can come back around and he gets his revenge. And you need a fired up Cody Rhodes, a babyface fighting underneath. That's Cody's strong suit, and we've had him with the belt for a year, so I kind of need a break personally of Cody having belt. I want to see him go off and have different feuds, or he just takes a little time off. He can come back again and again to fight Cena at some point. Cody might be the one to just regain the belt before the end of the year, and then John Cena has his redemption arc whenever that happens before he officially retires. But Cody might take the belt back, he may not. He may find his way back to WrestleMania, win the Royal Rumble for a 3rd time for all we know. Or he wins Money in the Bank and he cashes in. Cody's story becomes more interesting because now he doesn't have the belt, assuming he doesn't have the belt. Well, if he doesn't have the title, it's an interesting story arc for him to try and get that revenge on The Rock, to try and get the revenge on John Cena, if he can pull it off or not. And I just like when babyfaces are chasing more than having long title reigns. It's a little bit more interesting for me. Now, I mentioned Cena's redemption. When do you think that happens? Is it like SummerSlam? He's going till like December, I think, based on his schedule. So at some point, if Cena wins the title, I think he will. At some point, he's going to drop that belt, and then I feel like it's going to start his redemption story. He's going to come back to the good side, because I think the final finishing thing we will see of John Cena's career is him holding his hand high and the crowd cheering for him, not going out with boos. We could be totally wrong and he ends everything as a heel, and that'd be kind of cool. But I think you want to see John Cena go through this 1-year transformation of bad guy, desperate, having to do this thing with The Rock, and eventually finding his way back to the fans. So what matches do you want to see from John Cena this year? It's very exciting. Like, now I'm excited for Mania 41. Main event scene was kind of iffy for me. Thanks so much for watching. Click this video right here if you want to talk more about John Cena. Have a great day. See ya.